Hi everyone, I wanted to do a part two of the beginner's template web design using HTML and CSS. And I wanted to start out with looking at the finished homepage, which we did in the first tutorial, and then show you how to make a couple other pages, a couple strategies for doing that. And I also never added a logo. So I want to add a logo here. And the way I'm doing all these things here is I'm trying to do it as simple as possible for you so that you can get a nice site up. It's not going to be anything fancy. And there's way more that you can do here, and there's different ways of doing it, but I'm going to show you a way to do it that is going to get a website up here, and then I think will be easy for you to understand. So I'm not taking, we did a web page, now we're doing a complete site. So what I want to do is I want to add a couple more pages here, and then I'll also want to link to an outside page here that you might want to do for your sites. Okay, so all of this is already done. We've seen this before. And the first thing I want to do is I want to add a logo because I want to do that before I start making the other pages. So then I can copy the code that I create to the new pages. So I have to have a logo ready. Oh, and that's the other thing too. I need to make images that I'm going to use for the other pages as well. So you need to do that first. And what I thought I would do was create a smaller image like this and use this also as my heading, which is one of your requirements for the website. And you can see here, I put the logo here as well. So we're going to get started with that. And like I said, I already have the images prepared. Well, what I did was I took this size image here and I cut it in half. I think it's 360 high, so I made it 180 high, and then I just added text in Photoshop to that. You can use CSS and HTML to do this with, but again, it's complicated and I wanted to make it easier for you. Okay, so here we go. We're going to get into Dreamweaver again, and I want to put my image, the heading image, in between the navigation and this media arts. Have you ever, and my my tagline there. So I'm going to create an image tag here, and you can do this from W3 Schools if you want, if you don't remember how to do this. Or another thing you can do is find one that you already have somewhere. So if you're not sure of the code, so here's an image right here. I can take this whole image code here, right? And actually, because I want to make it into a link, I can take this whole thing here and copy it and then put it into where I was typing here. Okay, so that's probably the easiest way to go about doing it. So what that's going to do is it's going to put my hero image here, and you can see here there's a link here as well. So there's an anchor tag that we can create a link out of it. Now I have my logo created, and I created this logo as a PNG so I could have a transparent background here, and I did that in Photoshop. So now that that's there, whoa, it deleted something because I had it highlighted. I'm going to go, yeah, look, I had all this highlighted here. And so that's why it did that. Okay, so now I got it right. Logo, PNG is right there. And I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to preview it again. Okay, so I should see a live update actually in the browser. And it did. So sometimes it'll just update if you don't do too many steps, and it'll do it automatically. Now the problem is I need to move it over. Okay, and how do I do that? Well, again, there's a couple different ways that I can do that, but the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to create a margin, and I'm going to move it over using a margin tag. Again, simplest way we could possibly do it. So I need to go into my CSS, and I want to put it in the header. So here's all my header tags right here. And you can see here that this area right here, or this group of CSS here, is based on the text that I had on the left. This group here is the text that I had, or the navigation bar that I had on the right. So I'm going to put in the middle here my tag for the logo. And so I want it to be similar here in that I want to use the header ID there. So I can select that. And then I also want to use an image tag because I wanted to apply it to an image that is in the HTML. And then I put the brackets there. And then what I'm going to add is I can scroll down, or I can just start typing. There's a lot there. Margin. So I set margin. And if you're not sure how to do this, again, there is a shorthand way of doing this, and we could just say margin. We could say margin right, I guess, or no, left, because we want to put it on the left-hand side. So you could do that. But I also want to make sure that the rest of the image is centered or zeroed out. So this shorthand is showing me right here. If I put a 0, I can see here that this is the top, this is the right, this is the bottom, and this is the left. So I want to put it on the left. So I'm going to put another 0, and then I'm not sure how much I want to move it over. Let's try 60 pixels and see what that does. But you can see here as I'm typing here, it's showing me I'm zeroing out these, and then I'm going to put 60 on the left there. Okay. And then I also always have to end with a semicolon there. Okay. I have an extra space there, but that's okay. Okay. So I'm going to save this. And remember, every time you do a single thing, you want to preview. So we're going to go back, and we're going to go in the browser and see what it looks like. We're getting there. See, it moved over, and it's all nice and centered up here. It's zeroed out. But I think I need to move it over a little more. I want it to be centered in between these two. It's not really going to be centered on the page because this seems to be wider than this. But I'm going to center it in between these two elements here. So maybe, add maybe 30 more pixels and see what that does. So I'm going to make it 90. And your logo, depending on how wide it is going to be different. So they're all going to be different. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go back, and that looks pretty well centered between the two. Okay. And again, it's not perfectly centered in the middle of the page, but I think I like it. And it's up to you. You're the designer, right? And then you show it to your client, and you go from there. Okay. One more thing I want to show you that I didn't cover was about fonts. Oh, yeah. And W3 Schools, here is the whole margin property. If you just type in W3 Schools CSS margins, it's showing you how the shorthand property works and how the other property works. Again, I always use this as a reference if I forget about things that I'm coding. I don't remember all of them. It depends on how often I use it. Okay. So the next thing I want to look at here is how to, and again, in W3 Schools, how to use Google Fonts. Okay, so this is really cool, and you could go to Google Fonts, but they already got this done for us here. Okay, so we can choose a typeface that we want, and in my example, I'm using a Belleza and a Lato typeface. So there it is for me. If I click Try It, it's going to give me the code. So this is the important thing right here. I need to get this link here and then put that in the style sheet of my document. Okay, then the other thing I'm going to do is wherever I want it to have this typeface, I'm going to have to set that as well. So in the, let's go back to the code. And this is going to be in the HTML, so the source code there. Oh, it looks like I already had it there. So I had that there, I pasted there from there, and then I also did another one, 2 typefaces. So I did Lotto as well. Okay, so another thing that's really cool in the W3 thing there is that it shows some typeface pairing, so font pairings. I highly recommend that you look at this and look at pairings here. Okay, these are going to be typefaces that go together, and it's free, and it shows you this right here. I only have 2 typefaces. I highly recommend that you only have 2 typefaces. Okay, so this is, again, a really good resource. So I have 2 typefaces. I'm going to use those, and I'm going to show you where I'm going to put those in the CSS. So just because I have it here in the HTML, and again, as soon as I paste those in there, I want to save the file and then preview it and make sure everything looks okay. Anytime I do something, I want to preview and make sure everything looks okay still. Oops, that was the wrong one. So it looks good. Okay. And the typeface isn't working quite yet until I do this. So I need to go back into, it is actually working, but I need to go back into the body or the CSS and then find in the body where the original font family was. And I think it was Times New Roman or something that was there before. And I just replaced it with the code that was again in the W3 schools. This is my CSS there. I don't want the font size. I just want the font family. So I copy that and then I go over to Dreamweaver and then I paste it here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through my code to see where else I might have that. And here's my Lotto. So I did Lotto. So I wanted my my heading tags, all my headings to be Lotto, and then I wanted all my regular text to be Belleza. So I changed it with the Lotto. I put Lotto. I copied and pasted that there, and you can find that code there. And so all you got to do is go through and see where the original, I guess that was it. There's just those 2 places. You paste those in there, and then it changes everything accordingly. I'm pretty sure that's all there was there. Okay, and then I save it again, and I go back, and I can see the change. Another thing I want to show you, because this sometimes is kind of cool. So I could see the original typeface that was there, and I could kind of toggle back and forth. And what I do over here in Dreamweaver, this is apply a comment. So if I click in here, HTML comment is if I'm in the source code, but when I'm in CSS, I use this. And if I put that on there, it comments this out. So I mean, so now it won't work anymore. And I save it, and I can go look at, let's see what it looks like without the typeface that I had there. So this was the original. And all this text down in here is the original typeface. And let's see if you can tell the difference when I uncomment it. So then this is uncomment. Save it. And then let's go look at it again. So see, it's a sans serif. Okay, it doesn't have a tail. Okay, so it's a little easier to read. Okay, so that's the logo, and those are typefaces. So the next thing we're going to do then is, I mean, I showed you how to change colors. I showed you how to do all this. This is super cool here. The next thing I'm going to do is show you how to make a page, new pages. Okay, so back in Dreamweaver, the structure is going to be similar. I'm going to use a similar structure. So the easiest way to do this, especially if you're lazy like me, is first of all, you need to know how many pages you're going to make. So your requirement is to have 3 complete pages. You already got a home page there if you've already got this made. So I just need 2 more. I actually made 3 extra pages because I also wanted to show you how to do a contact form. And the contact's really not a complete page. So unless you put content in there, I'm not going to count it as a complete page. Remember, you need to have 3 paragraphs of text, and you need to have at least 3 images on each page, at least 3 paragraphs and at least 3 images. And so the home page that I have there meets those requirements. Okay, so there's 3 images. I have, there's 1 paragraph, there's 1 paragraph. These are bullet points, which I would like to see on a home page instead of tons and tons of text, but I would count that as a paragraph too. So this actually meets the requirement, and with images, it goes over the requirement. This does not count as an image on your for your requirements, everyone. This is a heading, or this is a hero image here. So you need 3 extra images, and they all need to be congruent with your topic, okay? So make sure that they are. Okay, so again, back to the pages here. So I'm going to make 3 separate pages here, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So it's super easy. I'm just going to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to create a new page. The first one I wanted to make was about.html. So I want to make sure that I see my local folder here. Oops. My local folder here when I save the file. And then I'm just going to name it about. Okay, those of us on PCs, we don't have to put the .html. It does it for us. Don't click on anything else. Just click Save. And then you should see it over here in your files. There's my About page. Okay, and it comes up here. I'm going to do it again. File, Save As. And the next one that I wanted to make was Careers. So, Careers. And it puts it in automatically in the right place for it. If I don't see it here, click this little refresh button here, and there it is. Again, File, Save As, Contact. Click Save. Okay, so now I have all my pages here. They look exactly the same. There's nothing different between them. And now I want to start making changes. Okay, so the first thing I want to do up here is I want to change the title. So it's still SBCC Media Arts, but now I'm just going to put a dash there, and then I'm going to title this About. I'm going to do this on, and then save. Okay, I'm going to do this on each page. This is Careers. So you're having your cookie crumb here in your title, and this is good for search engine optimization. Oops, I didn't save that one. Okay, so I would also update the description for each page as well, and describe what's on the page. Okay, so this didn't save. See, I still have the asterisk there. Okay, so now it's saved. Okay, that's one way to be able to see what's there. But we're going to link all these together, and I'm not going to make a lot of changes right this second. The first thing that I want to do is on this About page, I want the on all the sub pages actually, I want the logo to go back to the home page. What's the name of the home page? Index. So I'm on line 18 here. Might be different on yours, but I'm going to select that pound sign, which is a null link, and then I'm going to change that to index. It comes right up there because we're in the same root folder, .html. Click Save. And then I might want to preview it and see if it works. So let's go to the preview here. And there's my About page. I can't really see it on the tab here, but oh yeah, there it is. Media Arts About. So see my title changed. It's a different page. Now if I click on the logo here, I should be able to go back to the home page. I don't know if it did there. It might not work with in the preview here. Okay, but you can see if when I mouse over it, it's now a link. Okay, so let me see. Did I save the file? I'm not sure why it's not working now. I did save the file, so it should be fine. Okay. So I'm going to do the rest, so I can just copy this. I need to do that on the other pages. I could have done it after the first one, and then if I knew where it was going to go, I could have copied about first, but that's okay. And then I'm going to do it on this one. Okay, so this is all linking to the home page now. Okay, the other thing that I want to do, oh crap, I just did the wrong one. Well, you could do that. See, this is the text that says Media Arts at SVCC. I could do that too. It's probably not a bad idea to actually link both. So the logo and that. Now that I did that, I'm going to do it on all of them. I did do it on the about to start with. So it was line 21 where the logo was. Okay, so they're both linked. That's cool. That works. Okay, so one of the things that I would still preview it after you do something like that, because if something screws up, then you can just step back. And it looks like it's fine here. I'm going to refresh it. Yeah, it's fine. See, that's a link now. This is a link now. Oh, it shows there now too. Down at the bottom there was index. Oh, we did get to the index now. It actually worked this time. See the tab. No, it's not giving me the... Yeah, there it is. Media Arts. Yeah, cool. All right. Okay, so let's keep going here. All right, so now that we got those pages made or changed, what I want to do now is I'm going to change the hero image. So I made all new ones. I told you I made all new ones, and I named them appropriately, I hope. So this is going to be about heading. I named it as a heading. So the good thing about doing this way, everyone, is you're required to have a heading on each page. So you have a heading here and an image, and it looks a lot cooler. It's a lot cooler way of doing a heading, and it fits the layout really well. So I'm going to save that and preview now. I'm not clicking preview every time, because if you do, it just makes a whole bunch of tabs here. Okay, so I'm just doing it each time I do something here. Actually, this Media Arts is centered pretty well here. Look at that. Okay, so now I can see that's the About page. And if I click back here, I should, yeah, it's working. Homepage. Cool, huh? Okay. So let's make the other page, and then we'll link everything together. Okay, so back to Dreamweaver. Go to Careers. And again, we're going to change that hero image. Here it is. Ah, it selected all that again. It's trying to get me again. Okay, so this is what? Careers, should I say? Yeah. Careers heading. Save. And then go back to the browser. There's Careers. And then, yeah, I should be able to click here and go to the home page. Perfect. And then let's do Contact. And Contact heading. Oh, wrong one. Just saw the C in it. Got me there. Oh. Contact heading. Save, and then preview, and there's my contact. So that's the one you saw. That I put this all up on the server when I was done to test it. That's what we saw there. Okay. So this has still got the layout of the home page. That's the next thing I'm going to do. That's the next thing that I'm going to change, because I don't want this layout. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this middle part, and then I'm going to just put these so I can have 3 paragraphs of text here to meet the requirement and 3 images. So we're just going to use this layout here for the content of the other pages. And I'll show you what that's going to look like. Okay, so back to Dreamweaver. And then we're going to start with the About page. What we want to get rid of here is this section here. So this is services, it says in here. And we want to get rid of this whole section. I think if we click on here, we should be able to see the bottom part of the section. There it is. I don't know why this is all marked out like this. It's not necessary. I think I'm going to just get rid of all this. Where was that again? Services. I'm going to delete it. And then I'm going to save it and then preview it. So we should be able to see this all gone. Yep. So now all we see is this part here. Okay, and we're going to duplicate this twice. Now, if you want to, you can call this whatever you want in the CSS. So it says services or introduction here, but I could call it enroll. I could call it whatever I want. And I could just copy it from here if I wanted to, so I don't really have to have that there. I'm going to get rid of it. So I'm going to copy this introduction area here, because this has got what I'm going to need here that I want to repeat. So from introduction to introduction, Control C. Then make sure you have a space there if you don't already, and then you can paste it. Now again, each step I want to save and preview. Save, and then I'm going to preview it. So I should have 2, and I do. How cool is that? Okay, and then let's do one more. So back to the code there. I already did it once. There it is. I can put it up here again. And then save it, preview it again. Okay. And then now I have 3 of them. Ta-da. Okay, so this, you can add paragraphs here. You can change these headings here. You know, if you want to say something like benefits of whatever, plant-based diet, and you have 3 paragraphs worth of stuff, 3 headings, you can take out these headings if you don't want them there. But your image should correspond with your paragraph of text here. You have an image that, communicates exactly what you're talking about in here. That's the best thing. That's what's going to give you the best grade. And for me, this is a little close together here. So I kind of want to give it more space. And the way I'm going to do that is I have to find these sections, and then I have to change the margins for them. Okay, so I need to go back to the CSS. So you don't have to do this, but like I said, I just want to add more space there. So these are a container section. There's a container last there, so the last one is going to have a margin of 0. I'm going to put something, so I want it to be the middle one. That's going to give me more. Again, you don't have to do this. And if you sandwich that in between, I'm going to show you how that works. So we're going to use that container ID, and then we're going to give it a class. We're going to name the class mid. I could name it middle. I could name it anything that I wanted, actually. And then I'm going to add the brackets, and then I'm going to give it a margin. So I want to give it a margin on top and bottom. And if again we start typing, our hint comes up, and right now it's 30 pixels on the top. I want a 0 on the right, and for the bottom I want 30 pixels because I'm going to center it. and then I'm going to use 0 again. Okay, I think I could actually keep that out, but okay, so I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to preview it, and let's go preview it here, and it shouldn't change anything right now. Okay, so that's good. I don't want it. It should not. If it did, then I'm going to have to undo that. I have a problem. Okay, so now I'm going to add it to this section here, and I'm going to go back to the HTML, my source code. So let's see, where is the middle one? I have to find the middle one because I have 3 introductions. I think this is the first one. So this, I could make this middle. Oops. M-I-D-D-L-E. I'm pretty sure that's the one. Yeah. And then this would be the end of middle. Again, these are comment tags, so we don't see those. They just help us to organize our CSS. Okay, so the thing I want you to see here now, so they're all intro, and I want to change this ID to middle, which is the one I made, or mid. I think it was mid, wasn't it? Let's double check again. Yeah, it was mid. So that should be it right there. I'm going to save it and preview it. See if it changed. Hopefully it'll change. Oh, and that kind of whacked everything out. Okay, well that's kind of good that it happened. And now we can see how to fix it. Okay, so we only went one step back. We only did one thing. We changed this to intro. So we can undo that. Just do Control Z. And then check it again. So let's go back and look and see if that was the problem. And yeah, it's fixed now. Okay. So what I did was I put, it wasn't the ID that I was supposed to change. It was the class. Okay. So that class, remember there was a last and then I did a middle in between. So this is where I want to do the mid. And then save it. And then let's go back. Ta-da! All right, so you see all that space I got there now? Much better, much better. Need that white, that I relief. And it's the same as this. So this is 30, this is 30. We want it to all be consistent, or white space. Okay? So, yeah, now we can do that with the other pages. And the way, again, that we did that was now actually all we have to do is go and change, add that text there, and then go and make the changes. Oh, and actually, you know what? I'm going to show you even a better way to do this. Let's even do this the lazier man way. Okay, because I want to use that layout on my other page as well. So why don't I just copy all this code here? You know, let's just copy all of it, all the introductions. So I can go from this introduction and then do all 3 paragraphs here to this introduction. Okay, so that's that intro. I thought I changed this to mid, but maybe I didn't. So I can copy that and then go back here now I'm going to careers. Okay, so I need to find where introduction was. Actually, we need to get rid of this other thing here that we had before we had the introduction. So that was, where was that here? That was services, if you recall. So we're going to go from services to the bottom of introduction, which is right there. I can hit delete. And then if I want to, I can save it and then preview it again, because this is what I'm telling you is the best thing to do. And look, everything's gone. Okay, all that content's gone, which is exactly what I wanted to happen. So now I'm going to go back there, and now I'm going to paste what I copied from the other one, which is those 3 introductions. Save it. And then let's go back and preview. And look at that. I have 3 rows there again. Okay. Now the contact page I'm going to do a little bit different, but kind of similar. So let's go to the contact. Let's do it on the contact page as well for now. And you know, the other thing you could have done was just do the about page first and then copy the about page out after we made the changes. Okay, so that would be another easy way to do that. Okay, so I know I definitely don't want that that slider in there again, the services. So I'm gonna just go ahead and we'll see how I go with the comp. And actually, so let's go here and delete it and then paste. And actually, I'm only going to use 2 of these sections here for the contact, and I'm going to show you why in a bit. So I'm going to delete one of those introductions, and then I'm going to save it, and then let's see what it looks like. So my content has 2 of them. Okay. So I'm going to put a form in here. So I'm not going to use both of those. And we'll show you what we're going to do with the form. Okay. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay, so now what we want to do, now that we've done those parts, is we're going to link all the pages together. So I don't think we've done that yet. I'm going to link one page, and then it's up to you to do the rest. Okay, so we got all those pages created. And let's start with index. So we got to go to index, and we're going to go to the top here. And I actually wanted classes to go to the SBCC schedule. So what I did was I popped open the SBCC schedule, and then I copied the link, and then I put it in here. I replaced the pound sign. So now I'm going to replace the pound sign with, in About Us, with my about.html, and then my careers.html, and then my contact.html. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing down at the bottom here because I have more links down at the bottom here. And I want to make sure that I do exactly the same thing. There's my link to classes. There's my link to about, careers, and contact. Okay. And then I don't think I have that done here. I'm going to show you again an easy way to do this. No, I did. I did have it. So you just need to make sure that it's done there. If you want to, what you can do once you do it one time, so like on the index page, I had all those where I wanted them. I can just copy these and then go up here and then paste it in here. Okay. Before I do that though, I might want to test it. So I should go to the index page and then see. Oops. Let's preview that there. It had the other page open. Okay, so I'm on index and there's my classes. So that goes to SBCC, yes, about. So I want to go back to make sure index is working. Careers, then back, then contact, then back, and then down at the bottom, same thing. Classes, does that go to SBCC? Yes. About, then back, careers, then back, and contact, then back. Okay, so everything works. We are cool. Now, the only thing else I wanted to do was I kind of like, I don't know, this was kind of, I want to make this layout a little bit different. I'm going to show you how. Just, I don't know. So you have a couple other options. For careers, like, you know, same thing with like something like benefits, you would just kind of stack them on top of each other. But About Us, we might want a little different kind of layout there. So what I wanted to do, and here's what I did when I uploaded it, is I made this part go, this image go over to the left. Okay, and so the way we're going to do that is the way images and text work together when we put them together is they use a property called a float. And right now, if we look at this about page, those sections there, so those introductory sections, if we look at intro, section ID, I think maybe, and or last, so let's look at those. Intro is, where is it? Well, it's got to be in here, right? Oh, there they are. Intro, there it is right there. So, oh no, actually it is. It's this whole thing here. So there's the float left. I think these are the ones on top, because this was the ones that were floating right on top. But this is the one that is being used. So if we go to home page, article, intro article, image, so the image is floating right on this one, but under the figure caption, which if we go back to the source code there, so it's kind of tricky. So you have to see everything there. So there's an intro, I'm sorry, there's home page, container, there it is, container, intro, article, fig caption. Okay, so yeah, container, homepage, intro, article, fig caption, and that's floating left. So what we want to do is we want to make a new one of these for that middle. So we made a middle and then have it float the other way. Okay, so the easiest way of doing that is just to copy this one and then make a new one. Did I copy it? Oh, I forgot the pound sign there. I got to have it all. And then paste it here. And then instead of having an intro like I screwed up the first time, that's probably why I was thinking about this, I want to call this middle. I don't want to call it mid because I already did mid somewhere else. And then I'm going to change this float to right. Okay, so I'm going to save it and then preview it. We're on the About page, yes. Okay, it did nothing. Why? Why did it do nothing? Well, it did nothing because we created a new ID, that middle ID. Okay, we created this with a middle ID. And if you recall, all the other ones used a section ID of intro. Okay, so I'm going to go to the one, and there's my mid. So I know this is my middle. Oh, I did rename those. I just didn't do the bottom one. So this, again, it's kind of, these comments are really nice because it keeps all that code organized. So I want to change this ID now from intro to middle. It needs to be exactly how I titled it in the CSS. MIDDLE. Okay, it gives you hints for that too. Save it, and let's see what happens. Are you betting on it? Ta-da! Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful. I just noticed though that it didn't have this border around it, and the border is another CSS tag there. But you know what? Maybe I'll let you figure that out by yourself. It looked like, yep, this is the one with the border. So you'd have to make another one of these here. We could do this now. It's already there, huh? I'm gonna try it and see what it does. So copy this, because I think this is just for the border. We want to put middle there. Oh no, it screwed that whole thing up there. So maybe we need to float it the other way. left. Again, this is stuff that just icing on the cake. You don't have to do that. Look, it worked. So sometimes, yeah, you got to refresh or preview, re-preview. So this is cool. Okay, so now I have a layout like this. I have a layout like this. And then we're going to do the contact form, and that's it, because this is becoming a really long video. Okay, looking at this, I decided that I only want to use one of these rows here. So I'm going to delete this one, and then I'm just going to put the form underneath this here. So what you would like to do on a contact page is tell people why you wanted to contact you, you know. So you need a call to action here, and then, you know, give a little explanation as to, you know, why you want them to contact you, what you want to do with it. So we're just going to put the form underneath here, and we're going to make it look like this. Okay. So back to forms, W3 schools again. So again, I can do a search, and I search for how to create a contact form, and it's in W3 schools. They already have this set up for me. So they give me the code, and they show you how to do it. And so what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to set up my page, and then we can actually copy and paste this code actually right now. We don't need this container. We just need this form right here. And I'm going to copy this part here. And then I'm going to go back to Dreamweaver. And then I got my contact page. And I'm going to get rid of one of these. So yeah. There's that one there. And then now I'm going to preview this again, save it. So I should have only one box there, but again, I want to always make sure that it's working. Yep, okay. So I'm going to take that code that I just copied and pasted and then put it right underneath this paragraph that I had there. Okay, so there's a paragraph there, and I want to make sure I put underneath the paragraph and and above the fig caption tag, because that fig caption tag is part of my formatting. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and save this. I don't know if it's gonna look good right now because we don't have the CSS, but let's see what it looks like. Okay, so kind of yucky here. So we need the CSS to get everything like straightened out and in order. But again, I want to make sure I didn't push anything else out of place, that it's all working here now. Okay, so again, back to W3 schools, and there's step 2, add the CSS. Okay, so they had some comments in here, but I didn't use the container, so I don't really need this. I just need these parts here. And then I'm going to go to my CSS. And again, because I am so crazy about being organized, down at the bottom here, so this is the footer, right? I'm going to put it above the footer. So I'm going to just hit return there, give myself a couple spaces, and then put it up here. Let's save it and see how it looks. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Okay. So I wouldn't keep all this stuff here. That's just me. I like to make it simple. But it's up to you. You can make changes from there. And what I ended up doing was I got rid of these labels. I got rid of the country, and I just put your name and write something in there. Okay, so I mean, it's totally up to you what you want to do with it, but that's what I ended up doing. And I'll show you how I did that super quick. Okay, so I went this would be in the HTML. Oh, first of all, if I want the button the same color as everything else I had, which is that kind of reddish color, I'm going to copy that color and then change the button color. And then there was also a hover color as well. So you can change that, and I'll show you. That's what this is right here. It's green right now. I'll show you what it looks like after we do that. Actually, we should test. We made a change. We need to test. Okay, so yeah, see, it's still green, but it became red now. Oh yeah, next thing then, how you take off those labels. Again, I like to streamline. Streamlining is good. And if we look in, so this is now the form. And I could actually put a label there for the form if I wanted to, but that's it right there. So this is the label. I'm going to get rid of all those labels. I don't want those labels. Save it, and then preview. All the labels are gone. I'm going to get rid of the country, and I only need one name. It doesn't need first and last name. You know, people know to put their name there, right? So I'm going to get rid of this box and the country box. And again, the way to do that is, okay, here's the country. Bop, bye-bye. And then I'm going to get rid of last name. Get rid of all that stuff there. Okay, save it. See how she looks. And that's it. There it is. Beautiful. Okay, so now we got 3 paragraphs on each page. Good paragraph on the home. Oops, that went to classes. 3 paragraphs on the home page. 1, 2, 3. So if you want to change these bullet points into paragraphs, you can. You can put as many paragraphs as you want in these things. I'm going to show you that. Like, for example, if you go here and you want to add more text to one of these, this is what's going to happen when it extends out. So if we go to About Page, for example, and let's say we have more information here, a couple paragraphs worth of stuff, I'm going to just add a paragraph below it so you can see how it works. HTML works with the height gets taller with based on the content. So content is what creates the height. So if you look here, see that? These things will stay because these are separate elements. It'll stay aligned, the image will stay aligned with that heading right there. Okay, so if I want to do it on the other ones, they would grow like that too. Okay, so this is it. The only other thing that you would need to do now is upload your files to the server. Okay, and so if you're using Dreamweaver, once we got all these files saved, so I don't have any asterisks here, everything is saved. What I'm going to go ahead and do is, if I click this little button here, I can tell whether or not I'm connected to the remote server. There's my remote server files there. So there's all my files. All my images, so any new image that I created, I need to go here, and I created an about heading image. And so all these heading ones, new ones that I created, any other new ones, you can control click or command click these and just do individual ones. And then if you click the up arrow, remember when you do this, it'll overwrite the files that are there. And you just want to make sure that everything is matching on both sides here. Okay, if we made changes to any of these files, then, well, we created new files here. So make sure that you upload all the new HTML files all the new image files, and then you updated the CSS file, so you want to upload that file as well. Okay. The other thing you could do if you really wanted to is if you click here, you could upload the whole site. I wouldn't recommend doing this. I've had problems with that sometimes. I just like to do them individually. Okay, and so once you've got that done, you're going to go back to your actual website, where's the address? There it is. So whatever that is, and test and make sure everything works. So classes, go to about. It looks a little different here because you know what? Let me upload the new ones that I made so you can see what happens. Because let's say I updated those, okay? And let me upload those new files. So these new ones that I made changes to, let's go ahead and upload those. And then we might not see it right away because we might have to refresh, and sometimes the refresh takes some time, but let's see. Maybe we'll get lucky. Yeah. Okay, so that's the page we made today. Yep, it has the enroll. I changed the colors a little bit. Oh, and I don't have the fonts there. Okay, so my Google fonts that I added there, we can't see them because I didn't upload the style sheet. So I got to go back and get the style sheet layout, upload that. These are the ones that kind of sometimes are a pain to refresh, the style sheets. But again, we could get lucky. Never know. Nope, not lucky today. And sometimes I just go and try to view the page source and click on the actual style sheet. Sometimes that works if I reload that. Reload those. Sometimes it don't. Nope, it doesn't want to refresh for me. So I might have to look at it in a different browser, and then sometimes it takes a day or so anyway. Okay, so once I'm there, this is the link, everyone. It has to say something at pizzy.com. Okay, this is not a link. This is not a URL. It is a link. It's not a URL. It's a preview. This is what you need to submit. All right. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Have fun.